two aims of this talk. To talk about a bit about magnets and how the magnet industry in the UK is looking at sustainability, and also perhaps to illustrate, use this as an illustration of how knowledge transfer networks can facilitate industry sectors like this getting together and doing something. So, why are rare earth magnets used? Rare earth magnets, the ordinary fridge magnet that we're all familiar with is quite an ordinary low-tech thing. Rare earth magnets, the most well-known one is called neodymium iron oxide, iron boron. Why are we using these things? Because they are the most powerful permanent magnet available. So they're extremely strong. If we put one of the size of that glass at one end of this table and the other one there, we need to be careful because they could attract each other quite violently. So they are that strong. Because they're strong magnetically, they're extremely useful for making things very, very efficient. So they're being used in all sorts of applications, aerospace, computers, and what have you. And we'll give some examples of that in a minute. Well, here we are. Computer hard drives is the main use for these at the moment in terms of tonnage of these materials. So each computer hard drive has somewhere between 20 and 40 grams of rare earth magnet in them. Okay? And despite flash drives and so on, these little sticks that we put in, computer hard drives are going to be used for many, many years, so the industry is telling us. Hybrid cars. Yes, the obvious one is the Prius. So that's been around for some time now. There are something like 2.5 kilograms of neodymium iron boron in each Prius. And other car manufacturers are following. So virtually all the car manufacturers are looking very seriously at rare earth magnets as a way of making their cars much more efficient. Not only cars, but heavy transport is a target for these sort of magnets as well. Wind power. Wind power is an obvious use for these things for two reasons. The main one being maintenance. There are two options for wind power generation, actually generating the electricity. One is the permanent magnet, and the other one, there's several other ways, but magnets and other ways, should we say, are the two options. The permanent magnet is virtually maintenance-free, that system. So, of course, that's a major consideration if you're putting a wind power unit in the middle of the sea. You want the thing to be as maintenance-free as possible. They're being increasingly used in general white goods and things like this, high-efficiency electric motors, because the motors can be made smaller and much more efficient. Everybody wins. You can see the use increasing at, we say there, 8% minimum per year, year on year. There's people saying that that's almost going exponential, in fact. There's some examples. The Prius, many other cars now coming on the market are using these rare earth magnets. The computer hard drive there, you see the two sort of moon-shaped, half-moon-shaped magnets there, and obviously the wind power. So what's the problem then? The problem is the UK, Europe, perhaps the rest of the world, is totally dependent on magnets, materials and magnets coming from China. Over 90% of the neodymium is Chinese source. That's not to say that there's none in the rest of the world in the ground. There is. The problem is the neodymium in the rest of the world tends to be contaminated with other materials, which makes them extremely expensive it makes it extremely expensive to get the neodymium out of them. So for the foreseeable future, even though mines are being opened as we speak, looking for neodymium, Toyota, for example, has stated they're going to be opening a mine to do this. The rest of the world is going to be almost totally dependent on China for these materials. That's a big problem. And of course it affects legislation as well, and the moves towards sustainability. So what's a possible solution then could be the recycling of these magnets.